Homework. Wow. 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 Homework. Wow. Why? Why not only look at the logical side? I just sniffed. Why is this a blurry photo? Whoa! Cognitive dissonance. You just sniffed. An emotional experience caused by a perception that our beliefs, feelings, and behavior are incongruent with one another. Ooh. I just snipped. Emotions and personality. Wow. Display. Wow. How do you hide boredom? Derpy, derpy, derp. Emotional display norms across cultures. Ooh. I just sniffed. Ooh. Wow. Change the situation. Modify the situation. Suppress or amplify emotions. Shifting attention. Reframe the situation. I just need to. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is a set of abilities to perceive and express emotion, assimilate emotion in thought, understand and reason with emotion, and regulate emotion in oneself and others. Awareness of our own emotions. Management of our own emotions. Awareness of others' emotions. Management of others' emotion. I just sniffed. Wow. There's no way I'm going to be able to finish that paper. I'm barely going to be able to take this test in time. In fact, the latest time that I can start taking the test is 10 o'clock. I only have 2 more hours until I have to actually take the test. It's insane. Now, technically, I could take it later than that, but only allow myself 1 hour to take the test. But I would like to have 2 hours to take it. So, wow. Derpy. Give the potential value of emotional intelligence. Some organizations try to measure this ability in job applicants. Job satisfaction. Job satisfaction is a person's evaluation of his or her job and work context. Wow, that was fun. Well, the Mexico. I feel like the same countries are always in the extreme ends of the spectrum. Job says I do have a job, so it's not even applicable to me. But if I had to evaluate how satisfied I was with my cleaning job, well, I liked everything about it except for the fact that I sucked at the job. Okay. And also, it's not fun to clean dirty stuff. Wow. No, the only reason I liked it was because, first of all, I was by myself. Second of all, it was only 7 hours a week. Third of all, I got paid a large amount of money. But the job itself wasn't that fun, but at least it was not like super boring and tedious. And I was kind of bad at the job in certain aspects of the job that was hilariously funny. And everything I had trouble with in the job, I never wanted to ask anybody about having problems because anybody's bi. I mean, not bi. Can we conclude from these surveys? And the job I'm talking about, I actually stopped working that job over a year ago. I only worked the job from 2019 to 2021. That's funny. Surveys. Dude, I remember reading this already. Job satisfaction. The exit voice loyalty neglect EVLN model. The EVLN model identifies 4 ways that employees respond to dissatisfaction. They either exit, voice, loyalty, or neglect. Exit means leave organization. Voice means to attempt change. The loyalty means what? Patiently waiting for the problem to be worked out by itself. Neglect means reduce work effort, pay less attention to quality, increase absenteeism and lateness. Responses. Third. Job dissatisfaction and performance. What about job satisfaction and job performance? Is it true or false that a happy worker is a productive worker? Oh, come on, really? There is a moderately positive relationship between job satisfaction and performance. General attitudes don't predict specific behaviors very well. Why do I feel too hot? I just know that when I take this jacket off, I'm going to be too cold. because I'm just wearing a polo shirt. Oh, yeah, that was funny. 15 minutes. Oh, dude, this is gonna take forever. That was funny. Okay, everybody's. Ooh, some employees have little control over their performance because their work effort is paced by work, technology, or independence. Ooh, and job performance might cause job satisfaction rather than vice versa. So, job satisfaction and customer satisfaction. What philosophy is that? What philosophy? Job satisfaction has a stronger effect on customer service than on overall performance. The service profit chain model. It is a theory explaining how employees' job satisfaction influences company profitability indirectly through service quality, customer loyalty, and related factors. Shows that job satisfaction has a positive effect on customer service, which eventually the process begins. What do I look like with my new haircut in the video? Epic fate. Wow, look at me. I look stupid. Oh no. I look stupid. Oh my gosh. I look bald. Oh wait, no. Oh no, you sniffed it. Anyways, what are we doing? Ooh. Less likely to quit their jobs. Organizational commitment. Oh, specifically, effective organizational commitment. Emotional attachment to, involvement in, and identification with an organization. You just were dumb. Why did you say org? Okay. This is the first time listening to this specific soundtrack, not in the car. Ooh. Wow. I listened to this in the car for like a month. No, more like 3 months. But it was alongside another soundtrack, so it wasn't the only thing I listened to for 3 months in the car. But anyways. The whole thing isn't even that long. It's only 28 minutes. It was about 30 minutes out of a total of 70 minutes in the CD. Okay. Okay. No. Was it 70 minutes? It was almost 80. Wasn't it 80 minutes? I can't remember. Continuance commitment is a calculative attachment to an organization. Yeah, I'm gonna barely be able to finish all this by 12. There's no way I'm gonna be able to actually write that paper that's due today. Thankfully, it's only worth 10 points, so I should be fine. My grade won't be that affected that much by turning that in late. That was funny. Although I did get 50% off for turning something in 2.5 days late. Huh. I don't know if it was the full 50% was due to the late grade, but I have a good feeling that it was. Because there was no other negative feedback on the assignment except for the fact that it was late. What the crap is a norm of reciprocity? A felt obligation and social expectation of helping or otherwise giving something of value to someone who has already helped or given something of value to you. Ooh. Consequences. MDF. It says original soundtrack, so maybe it is a real video game. Wait. I can't even read the whole thing. This is bull. I can't even look at the whole thing. Whatever. Stop me. In contrast, Building organizational commitment, justice and support, shared values. Trust refers to positive expectations one person has toward another person in situations involving risk. Organizational comprehension refers to how well employees understand the organization. Employee involvement. You know, I think the only reason the soundtrack is shorter is because none of the songs are looped. If the song's looped, this would be like an hour long. Almost, it would be 56 minutes long. Which would be kind of a more normal length for one of these Toho game soundtracks. Plus, there's only 13 tracks, when normal Toho games have like 17 tracks. Employee involvement. Stress. Now, I kind of did read this section already. Didn't I say that? Stress is most often described as an adaptive response to a situation that is perceived as challenging or threatening to the person's well-being. That was fun. Our body responds. That was fun. One school thought. An emotion experience. I already read some of the stuff when I was doing my other assignment. General adaptation syndrome. Oh crap. Celly. Celly. That's fun. Determined that people have a fairly consistent and automatic physiological response to stressful situations, which helps them cope with environmental demands. General adaptation syndrome, a model of the stress experience consisting of 3 stages: alarm, reaction, resistance, and exhaustion. You are 40. That's funny. Well, resistance activates various biochemical, physical, psychological, and behavioral mechanisms that can the individual more energy and engage coping mechanisms to overcome or remove the source of stress to focus. Whoa. Oh. Wow. Limited. Well, then you will become exhausted. Stress. You experience consequences. You experience job burnout, emotional exhaustion, cynicism, depersonalization, reduced personal accomplishment. Wow. The causes of stress is a stressors. Any environmental conditions that place a physical or emotional demand on a person. Wow, that was funny. What are the 4 most common work-related stressors? Organizational constraints, interpersonal conflict, work overload, and low task control. Wow, you sniffed. What on earth? Oh my god. What the heck? Okay, that right there is a coffee cup. That's funny. Low task control. Individual differences in stress. Oh, you know what? I think I did read basically all of chapter 5, so I might be good there. Like, I read most of that chapter already, didn't I? Because I was procrastinating, so I read the chapter. Ooh, there are different factors that cause them to experience stress differently. Ooh, personality. Managing work-related stress. Oh, man, what problem I'm having. I have to work too hard. Wow, I have to work so hard to take 2 college classes and not go to a job. How hard that is for me. Even though I have put myself in a situation where I had to read how many chapters? If we subtract chapter 5, because I just kind of realized that I had already read most of that chapter, I put myself in a situation where I had to read 5 chapters in one day, then take a 2-hour-long test, and then write a paper, and then I took, not only all that, but I took how many hours out of my day to go to my mom's house, which was how many hours? I left at 12, got back at maybe 5:30. So that's how much stuff I had to do in one day. Yep, that's impossible. Like, right, look where I'm at right now. I'm almost at the end of chapter 4. Still have 5, 6, and 7, although I think 5 will be quick because I already read it. Then I have to take a 2-hour-long test. To even finish the test on time, I have to start the test sometime before 10, let alone to write another full paper. I'm not writing another paper. I mean, it would be pointless because by the time I'm done with my test, it would be after 12, which is the due date of the paper. Yeah, but, wow, the reason that this happened is because you manage your time poorly, so you always find yourself in these situations where you have to do like 10 billion assignments in one day. This is how it happens. You sniffed. How about you just remove the stressor? Use work-life integration initiatives. People are tired. Withdraw from the stressor. Oh, okay. Change stress perception, control stress consequences. Be physically fit. Receive social support. Now we will read the chapter summary. I always read the definition of every term and read the summary of the chapter. Wow! Oh, that was funny. Explain how emotions and cognition. You sniffed. Conscious reasoning influence attitudes and behavior. You sniffed. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 Armageddon. I don't even remember what that was referring to. Maybe that was just something to do with something. He sniffed. Anyways, I have to read another 2 chapters in another 1.5 hours. Not even including chapter 5. I don't know, did I read the whole chapter 5? I thought I did. Maybe not the whole thing, though. Maybe I'll just skip chapter 5. No, I'll look it over. I'll look it over at least. Probably not spend as much time on it as these other ones. Like, I'm literally reading all the chapters for the test the day of the test. This is so funny. Dude. Like, this is the least of my worries anyways. Taking a test is the least of my worries for these classes. Although, the amount of time I gave myself is not very much. That was fun. Using it. Emotions are physiological, behavioral. You know what's funny? Nah, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna turn it in. It's weird though, because my teacher said you turned this assignment in 2.59 days late. I was like, wait just a minute here. You didn't just say it was 3 days late. You said it was 2.59 days late, which means technically I could get a better grade on the assignment if I complete the assignment like 1 or 2 hours past due than if I complete it almost a full 24 hours past due, according to that logic. Which would actually mean it's technically better if I do the assignment after midnight, according to that grading scale. Oh no. Well, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to. I don't feel like doing an assignment at 12 in the morning. Dude. How long will it even take me to do the assignment? Like 2 or 3 hours? By the way, after today, I will have completed 4 weeks of my classes, and there's a total of 10 weeks in the classes. I will be 4/10 done. That was fun. You know what's funny? We're not even halfway done yet. We're not even halfway done. Oh, yeah. Hold on a sec. I might be mistaken about how many weeks are in the class, though. Because I think I assumed that it would go all the way to the 12th, which is what it says on the calendar, but the last assignments aren't even due on the 12th. They're due, like, on the 6th, at least for one of the classes. Oops. The final exam is due on the 6th. Are you kidding me? It's not even... That's like almost a full week before the end of the class. Why? But anyways, let's look at the other class. And if they both end on the 6th, that means I can kind of effectively eliminate 1 week from the schedule and say that the classes are 9 weeks long instead of 10. So let's see what we got here. No, the case study, I don't have to do the case study because that's only for graduate students. The final discussion is due on the 7th. Oh, crap, but the replies to that discussion are not due till the 10th. Weird, okay. But anyways, yeah. So, like, anyways. Dang. You know what's funny? Everything. Emotions are physiological, behavioral, and psychological episodes of experience toward an object, person, or event that create a state of readiness. Dang it, my voice is now going bye-bye. That was funny. Emotions differ from attitudes. Wow, that was funny. which represent a cluster, or attitudes represent a cluster of beliefs, feelings. Thank you. I don't get why he slows. He's down slightly there. I don't get it. Well, I just finished listening to the soundtrack I listened to in the car for 3 months. Fun. This is another soundtrack I listened to in the car for several months, but this was like way longer ago. This was like a year ago or something. I don't know. I don't even know how long ago this was. Attitudes represent a cluster of beliefs, feelings, and behavioral intentions toward a person, object, or event. Beliefs are a person's established perceptions about the attitude object. Feelings are positive or negative evaluations of the attitude object. Behavioral intentions represent planned effort to engage in a particular behavior toward the target. You sniffed. Attitudes have traditionally been described as a purely rational process in which beliefs predict feelings, which predicts behavioral intentions, which predicts behavior. We now know that emotions have an influence on behavior that is equal to or greater than that of cognition. This dual process is apparent when we internally experience a conflict between what logically seems good or bad and what we emotionally feel is good or bad. In this situation, emotions also affect behavior, directs our behavior, sometimes influences our subsequent attitudes through cognitive dissonance, and discuss the dynamics of emotional labor and the role of emotional intelligence in the workplace. Dang it, we're running out of time. I'm probably going to start the test at like 9:45 so that I have some kind of cushion of time. That was funny. So, because I don't want to start at like right at 10. What if I accidentally don't turn it in by 12? Dang, that means we have about 1 more hour to read 3 more chapters. Oh. Emotional labor consists of the effort planning and control needed to express organizationally desired emotions during interpersonal transactions. It is more common in jobs requiring a variety of emotions and more intense emotions, as well as in jobs in which interactions with clients are frequent and long in duration. Employees experience stress, job dissatisfaction, and low job performance when the emotions they are required to display differ markedly from the emotions they actually experience at the time. The extent to which employees are expected to hide their true emotions varies considerably across cultures. Employees sometimes fulfill their emotional labor obligations through surface acting. They consciously display behaviors that represent the expected emotions, even though their actual emotions are different. A second strategy is deep acting, whereby employees actively change their true emotions so they are similar to the required emotions. The 5 ways to regulate emotions are to change the situation, modify the situation, suppress or amplify emotion, shift attention and reframe the situation. Emotional intelligence is the ability to perceive and express emotion, assimilate emotion in thought, understand and reason with emotion, regulate emotion. I said in oneself and others. This concept includes 4 components arranged in a hierarchy: awareness of one's own emotions and management of one's own emotions, awareness of others' emotions, management of others' emotions. Emotional intelligence can be learned to some extent, particularly through personal coaching. Summarize the consequences of job dissatisfaction as well as strategies to increase organizational effective commitments. Job satisfaction represents a person's evaluation of his or her job and work context. 4 types of job dissatisfaction consequences are quitting or otherwise getting away from the dissatisfying situation, exit, attempting to change the dissatisfying situation, voice, patiently waiting for the problem to sort itself out, loyalty, and reducing work effort and performance, neglect. Job satisfaction has a moderate relationship with job performance and with customer satisfaction. Effective organizational commitment is the employee's emotional attachment to, identification with, and involvement in a particular organization. This form contrasts with continuous commitment, which is a calculative bond with the organization. Normative commitment, a felt obligation or moral duty to the organization, is a third form of organizational commitment. Companies build loyalty through justice and support, shared values, trust, organizational comprehension, and employee involvement. Describe the stress experience and review the four major stressors. Stress is an adaptive response to a situation that is perceived as challenging or threatening to a person's well-being. The stress experience called the general adaptation syndrome. The stress experience called the general adaptation syndrome involves moving through 3 stages: alarm, resistance, and exhaustion. Stressors are the causes of stress and include any environmental conditions that place a physical or emotional demand on a person. 4 of the most common workplace stressors are organizational constraints. Wow, sniffy. 4 of the most common workplace stressors are organizational constraints, interpersonal conflict, work overload, and low task control. Identify as 5 ways to manage workplace stress. Many interventions are available to manage work-related stress, including removing the stressor, withdrawing from the stressor, changing stress perceptions, controlling stress consequences, and receiving social support. Motivation drives. The Mars model is motivation is defined as the forces within a person that affect the direction, intensity, and persistence of effort for voluntary behavior. Employee engagement is an individual's Employee engagement is an individual's emotional and cognitive logical motivation. Particularly a focused, intense, persistent, purposive effort toward work-related goals. Employee drives and needs. A drives hardwired characteristics of the brain that corrects deficiencies or maintain an internal equilibrium by producing emotions to energize individuals. Needs goal-directed forces that people experience. Individual differences in needs, drive-based motivation theories. 4 drive theory. A motivation theory based on the innate drives to acquire, bond, comprehend, and defend that incorporates both emotions and rationality. Drive to acquire, drive to bond, drive to comprehend, drive to defend. How drives influence. Maslow's needs hierarchy Theory is a motivation theory of needs arranged in a hierarchy whereby people are motivated to fulfill a higher need as the lower one becomes gratified. Physiological safety, belongingness, esteem, and self-actualization, need for beauty, need to know. Intrinsic and extrinsic motivation are things. Does learned needs theory? Achievement, the need for achievements, the need for affiliation, the need for affiliation, the need for power, personalized power, socialized power, changing learning, need strength. Expectancy theory is a motivation theory based on the idea that work effort is directed toward behaviors that people believe will lead to desired outcomes. Effort results in performance. A specific performance level leading to an outcome, and an outcome valence. You see, expectancy theory, increasing outcome valence, organizational behavior modification, and social cognitive theory. I just snipped. Oh no, that's at the end of the video. Bye. Oh, you were supposed to open bye.